Well, I can't really talk much about it, but the Fantastic Four are fantastic.
Yeah.
They are phenomenal in this film, and I'm very excited for people to see them. And they're just like also some of the kindest people I've ever worked with. So they're wonderful.
We're thrilled about your upcoming role in the MCU. Can you share what it's been like stepping into the character of Silver Surfer for the new Fantastic Four film? Well, I can't reveal much, but I can say the Fantastic Four truly live up to their name. They're phenomenal in this movie. I'm genuinely excited for everyone to see them.
Fun cast, a really fun a great fun director. So it was a really, I felt very lucky to have a little small part.
Hello? We were attacked by some kind of animal, and I think my husband was infected by it.
What's wrong with Daddy?
They're also some of the kindest people I've ever worked with, which made the whole experience even more special. It sounds like you had a fantastic team. Was it a fun set to work on? Absolutely. The cast was incredible, and the director brought so much energy and creativity. I feel really fortunate to have been part of such a talented team, even if my role was just a small one. Speaking of collaborations, you reunited with Chris on this project. He mentioned your first professional acting job together was in Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. What was it like working with him again, and how was it different this time? It was so different. Back on Martha, I had only been acting for about 5 months. This time, our roles were much more developed, and I felt more confident.
In a little bit, but first, reuniting with Christopher. I mean, he just told me you got your first professional acting gig together was Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. What was it like to reunite with him, and how different was it this time around?
It was very different because it was like there were bigger roles.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, what I learned on Martha was just, how to be on a movie set. I didn't even I was acting for 5 months at that point.
Wow.
But yeah, it was really, I was super excited to sign on, and that he was on this production, and because I think he's a great actor. He's fantastic, and he's great in this film. And
Absolutely.
yeah, it was a really nice reunion.
Chris is such a fantastic actor, and it was wonderful to reconnect and work with him again. The buzz around this Wolfman adaptation is huge. How do you think it raises the scare factor compared to previous versions? This version feels incredibly real. Even how the Wolfman is portrayed, you can still see hints of Chris's character in his transformation, which makes it more unsettling. That familiarity adds an emotional punch when he fully changes, making the experience more intense.
What's wrong with Daddy?
He got sick.
Please, Dad, you're scaring me!
Blake, stop!
Classic chills and thrills in this. How would you say this version of Wolfman kind of ups that scare factor compared to what we've maybe seen in the past?
That it feels really real.
Right.
It feels real because even how the Wolfman looks, you can there's some elements of Chris still in there.
Totally.
And you think maybe he might change.
Right.
And then when he turns on you, it's more scary because it's familiar. So I actually think that this is actually more scary than the previous wolf.
And a slow evolution to that too. You see him transforming piece by piece. And you're right, because of that, by the time you see him as the full Wolfman, you still see parts of him, and it actually packs a more emotional punch. Yeah.
Yes.
Was that grounded realism something you developed with your director? Yes, it was a collaboration. Lee, our director, had this vision of the Wolfman transformation as a metaphor for disease or illness. I took that idea and combined it with the stages of grief which all unfold over one night. Physically, Chris handled the transformation, and I focused on the emotional journey. As an actor, was that challenging or exciting to take on? It was both. It pushed me out of my comfort zone.
Is that something that excited you as an actor, to be able to sink your teeth into something?
Yeah, it was scary
I bet.
and challenging, but it was. And also, this movie feels very different for me than anything that I've done in the past.
How so?
Just that it there was like a lot of actually action. There was a lot of running. There was a lot of action.
Yeah.
Like, and
Was it cold?
and it was a monster movie. I've never done a monster movie.
Oh man,
So,
well, you should do more. I was like, you were so great in this. I have a nerdy horror film question, but what like goes into nailing that perfect movie scream? Because I'm watching you and I'm thinking, do you guys space that out so your voice doesn't get hoarse or that you lose it? Like, how does that work?
a lot of like tea.
Right, honey.
Honey, a lot of honey.
Yeah.
Honey.
Do you warm up like a vocalist?
Yeah, a bit. But I like doing that anyway because I never want my voice to sound like
Like you just woke up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
But yeah, and also it depends on what kind of scream. What the situation. It's like there's different types of cries too.
Yep.
Project involved so much action, running, stunts, and being part of a monster movie, which is completely new for me. It was a challenge, but I loved every moment. You handled those intense moments so well, including some amazing screams. How do you prepare for that without losing your voice? Lots of tea and honey. I warm up my voice like a singer would, so it stays strong for the long shooting days.
I actually, separate from, doing prep work of the stages of grief taking place in one night, just prior, before they're getting to the woods, I did a lot of research, and my prep work was actually interviewing a lot of working mothers. I got on the phone with a lot of working mothers that I personally knew, and I was just asking them what was their struggles, their insecurities, their things that they felt like confident and successful, but also all the
It also depends on the type of scream. It's like how different situations call for different kinds of cries. Classic monsters like the Wolfman have such timeless appeal. Why do you think audiences are still drawn to them? I think it's because these stories are rooted in tradition and history. They're familiar yet unpredictable, and that sense of unpredictability keeps audiences on the edge of their seats. There's something about these monsters that resonates across generations.